It is now 3 o'clock. It's time for our DeSoto County School Board to come to attention. Come to order. Let's stand and Mr. Nichols will say the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, this time we need to approve agenda. What is your recommendation, sir?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the agenda.
I have a recommendation. I need a motion.
I make that motion.
I need a second. All in favor, aye. Aye. Superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam President. I've got 3 items today. First of all, to start with, we have an employee recognition that we would like to do, and I'll ask our principal from Lake Forest High School, Mr. Kendall Phillips, to come forward, and so we can recognize our employee.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Members of the school board, Ms. Olson and guests, I'll be honest with you, I typed this out. There's a lot I want to say about Ms. Young, so I hope y'all don't mind me reading from here. All right, today I have the honor today to recognize our amazing band director, Mrs. Jamie Young, for receiving the Heart of the Arts Award. Mrs. Young has been the band director at Lake Forest High School for 12 years. And continue to be that long. As a national board certified teacher, she has been able to use those skills and develop the band program to one of the best band programs in the state. Under Mrs. Young's leadership, the band has received consistent superior ratings. We just wanted, we just received superior ratings at the Grenada Festival, correct? And sweepstakes awards during her tenure. The band has been selected to perform at many prestigious events, including Carnegie Hall, Loyola University, and the Mississippi Band Masters State Band Conference. The band had also been premiered at a piece of, the band had also premiered a piece in honor of cancer survivors this past year. Life and Breath, written by, did you write that? Or?
No, it's by Ryan Todd.
Now, when did Ryan write that?
Well, not that Ryan.
Right. Okay.
The band, he's the band director, ICC.
Yes. I want to make sure I don't want to get everything. I don't want to miss nothing out about Ms. Young. She sees her strength as an educator as developing young musicians to help them reach their full potential. Accomplishing this by developing their individual skills, audition for honor bands, scholarships, and giving back to their talents to our community. The Heart of the Arts Awards was created by the NFHS to recognize individuals who exemplify a positive heart for arts in representing the core mission of education-based activities. Ms. Jamie Young. Now, she said she's gonna stay with me a long time, so.
Okay.
Congratulations. So proud. You and Ms. Young need to go. That'll be- Thank you. At this time, I'll ask our principal from DeSoto Elementary School, Ms. Selena Nichols, to come forward and introduce our teacher spotlights.
Mr. Phillips, I have notes too. So, good afternoon. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity to share about our school and our Chickasaw champions. As Mr. Esselton said, and many of you know, I am Selena Nichols, the principal of Chickasaw. At CES, our mission is to grow all of our students academically and socially. We believe that the needs of the whole child have to be addressed in order for learning to occur. Mrs. Rebecca Dix joined the CES team in January of 2020 as our school counselor. Her love for students and passion for equipping them with the tools they each need for success is immeasurable. And through my 28 years of education, one thing I've learned, you can teach theory, you can teach practice, but you can't teach love nor passion. That's something that you just have to have, and she definitely has that. Maya Angelou is quoted as saying, "I've learned that people forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." For our Chickasaw champions, Mrs. Dix makes each of them truly feel like they are a champion. At this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Dix to come up and share with you all some of the things that she does with our counseling program in order to meet all the needs of our students. Ms. Dix?
My name is Miss Dix, and I am the school counselor at Chickasaw. Thankfully, luckily, and blessedly, I always have called Chickasaw the gym that I didn't know I would ever find. I'm so thankful that I did. I found Chickasaw straight out of graduate school. So it has been my only school, but I can tell you that it is very special. So to start, I will say that Chickasaw is not just a school. It is truly a family. A little bit about me also is that I'm not from around here. I'm from Sevierville, Tennessee. So if you don't know where that is, think Dolly Parton and you'll get it. I did attend UTC for undergrad and graduate school. And then I graduated, got a job, got married, moved to Memphis, all in December of 2019. It was a big month. And then I began at Chickasaw in January of 2020. So I got to have 3 normal months. And then it was sink or float. I floated, I think. So today I want to talk about some of the things that I have noticed, some of the things that we have noticed at our school, but also just nationwide, worldwide at this point. I'm not going to say the C word that y'all know. But basically, we have to address the social and emotional needs of our children first. Why, you ask? Well, because we have seen a huge increase of academic struggles. We have 2nd graders in our school who have never been to school. And they're being expected to be big 2nd graders. It's very difficult. We've seen an increase in grief and loss at our school in particular. We've experienced grief and loss. We also, our children's families, they've lost grandparents, parents, and that's been really rough on them. There's been an increase in attendance issues too. There's a lot of confusion with COVID. And there's a lot of, well, the doctor says they need to quarantine. Nobody at school told them to quarantine. Anyway, there's been a big hubbub. So we've got some attendance issues going on, a lot of issues with that. Increase in financial instability. Well, a lot of our families lost jobs when COVID hit and just haven't gotten back on their feet. You'll see that in the children. You also have a lot of increase in behavior issues. Lately, I have been a behavioral specialist as well as a counselor. So it is what it is. Some days the job you are dealing with huge behaviors. Other days you are just trying to find a poppet on the playground that a child has buried in the rocks. So you never know what you're going to get with this job, but that is what I love so much about it. So what are we doing to address all of these increased needs? Well, as you all may know, the state of Mississippi did come out with some SEL standards, in other words, social and emotional learning standards. So like you have your math or ELA standards, they came out with social and emotional learning standards, which is wonderful. It just means that we're integrating social and emotional learning within the classroom. And as you can see, the 5 main areas are self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. Now, under all of those 5 domains, there are smaller domains, 1.4a, So, and I could spend all day talking about how one of my teachers is implementing standard 1.4a in her ELA lesson. But that's not how I want to spend my time today. I want to spend my time today talking about the heart of the issue, the main root of how I like to see my children, how I try to conduct myself each day at school. So with that, all through my counseling program, And even just in my first couple of years of being a counselor, something that I always look at are Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And even if you've never heard of this before, it'll make a whole lot of sense to you. It starts at the very bottom. It's just your most basic needs, your physiological needs. You need food, water, warmth, and rest. If you show me a child that's having a hard time in class, not learning, behavioral issue, I can show you a child that is struggling in one of these areas. And so that's where I start. Do they have food? Have they eaten breakfast? Did they eat dinner last night? Did they sleep? The next thing is safety needs. So did they feel safe at home? Do they feel safe at school? Is there something going on at school that we need to address before they can learn in the classroom? Belongingness, love, and love needs. They have to have intimate relationships and friends. Are they making friends at school? Not only are they making friends, but are they able to keep those friends? It's a very integral piece, and not only with their friends, but with the staff members. Do they feel loved and supported by staff? The esteem needs. Going back to the academic issues that we have had this year, I've seen a lot of feeling defeated out of some of our children. They feel like they can't catch up. Well, guess what? All of us feel that way, and that's okay. And so giving them something that they can do can make a world of difference and can give them that fire to keep going. So sometimes it is taking a step back and saying, all right, we're going to bump you back down. Can you do this? And buddy, when they feel accomplished, when they can do that, they'll keep trying for you. The last part is self-actualization. So basically self-fulfillment means, do they feel like they are doing things that matter? So when we are doing our lessons, when I'm doing my guidance lessons, do they feel like this matters? Is this going to make a difference in their life? You probably heard a child say, I'll never use this again. Well, my goal is to make sure they never say that about my lessons. All right, so moving forward, just, socially and emotionally cared for champions at CES do lead to academically successful champions. You cannot have one without the other, and I would argue that you cannot have the academic piece before you have the social and emotional piece. And that's kind of where I come in and where everyone at Chickasaw comes in. So what does that look like at our school? Well, sometimes it means shopping for rewards. Our wonderful intervention team at Chickasaw has come up with a store, and they get to shop it with their champion slips that they earn through behavior all week. They get to buy things like poppets. If y'all have not heard the craze about poppets, oh my goodness, it's just the craziest thing. Candy, pencils, erasers, all kinds of things, but they really look forward to that. Sometimes it is a powerful bullying prevention activity. We just came through bullying prevention month, and oh my goodness, it was beautiful to watch. Probably my most favorite activity we did. If you look, there's a heart. You can see in the middle 2 children holding it. And then you'll see in the picture above them, there's a child folding that heart. They went through, they talked about some hurtful words that people have ever said to them and how it crinkles the heart. And then once someone apologizes, it might uncrinkle the heart, but it still leaves some scars. So you can see up in that right-hand corner, it's a little wrinkly heart. But I saw some classes get to do this, and it really opened their eyes, and it was really beautiful to watch. These were anti-bullying pledges that they did. Each class did one, and it's really awesome whenever classes do the activities and they turn them in and then you get to hang them up. But I will tell you the most special thing about the entire week was I caught this candid photo on the left. Nobody asked them to stop and read them. They were doing that on their own. And to me, that is more powerful than forcing any kind of learning you could ever do. So sometimes it is just matching for a purpose. So we love to match on certain days at Chickasaw. We match for Red Ribbon Week, which, as you know, is just say no to drugs. We learn about taking care of our bodies that week. We match for Unity Day and World Day of Bullying Prevention. Sometimes it is celebrating characters. So something that we're doing, the district actually bought core essentials for each school in the district, and I have been using it for incentives. And so if they get caught showing that month's character trait, they can earn a slip with that month's character trait on it. So for instance, one of them was initiative. Well, they get caught showing initiative, they get a slip. And that, this past 9 weeks, was a ticket into the glow party. And it was so much fun. I guess because of COVID and everything, I swear I had never seen half of their smiles. But like, I didn't know what you looked like. So it was really special to see them smile and just be children in the school setting again. Sometimes it is aspired to be the first female president. Other times it is wanting to be a Jedi when you grow up. And then sometimes it is things as awesome as serious as celebrating your adoption day with some party hats and cupcakes. Sometimes it is remembering to thank those who keep us safe on the daily. Other times it is being recognized for good behavior on the bus, for making it right with your friends, and for earning that positive office referral for sticking up for a classmate, even when it is hard. It is earning that sticker on your little behavior chart. It's earning that milkshake from Sonic. It is earning that movie date with your sibling. He chose that, by the way. No one made him hang out with his sister. And then other times it's asking if your mom can come to school for lunch with you. And sometimes it is learning that self-awareness in recess. Sometimes it is learning that self-regulation in music or learning how to share in art. Sometimes it is just learning relationship skills in PE or library. Something that I heard even just this past week from Ms. Dawn Sharp that I just had to say today was, she said, well, you gotta ask yourself, how would you want someone to treat your own child? And that is something that stuck with me all week. I said, I gotta add it into my PowerPoint. Because at the root of this, the reason I think I love Chickasaw so much is because everyone does treat their children like they're their own. Everyone just takes all the students under their wings. They may not be in their homeroom. They may not even know them. But if they see a child in need, they're going to make sure they've got what they need. It's a really beautiful thing. And other times, y'all, it is just as simple as loving on them just a little extra. Sometimes we, I think as educators, we do get caught up on, well, what are the strategies I need to use? What are the domains? What am I reaching all of my goals? Am I doing everything? And sometimes, y'all, it is just so simple of just taking a moment, brushing a kid's hair. Sometimes it's taking a moment, making sure they have a snack that day. And sometimes it's just taking a moment and saying, hey, I'm glad you're here and I love you. Those are the moments that I see the biggest impact made every single day. And that is all I've got to say. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for that presentation, and I appreciate y'all being here today, Ms. Nichols. Thank y'all for a very good presentation. Thank y'all. Y'all need to go. All right, at this time, I'll ask Jonathan Hodges to please come forward with our energy report.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right. I changed this one up just a little bit, and you'll see why. This is on the second quarter for April, May, and June of 2021. Our pie chart that we start off with is where all the energy is spent in the majority of our schools. And then I went ahead and started with the graphs. And you'll notice a pretty recurring trend of 2021 being above 2020. And you're gonna see that pretty much across the board. I don't like to compare anything to 2020 when it comes to energy. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. These are our high schools. And for the most part, you can see that it pretty much is just absolutely recurring. And then our other areas. $249,952.43 compared to 2020, which is a lot. Doesn't sound great until you take in all the information, which bring. Average temperature was roughly the same. We have to look at that because we want to know. But, you know, in 2020, we weren't doing everything like we were today. And even this year. Average spend is 26 cents per square foot. That's actually pretty good. And I took all 7 years from when we look at it from 2015 all the way to 2021. And if you notice that there's only 2 years where we actually spent more than this year. So 2021 is actually pretty average. And actually, it's pretty good when you take the comparison of all the other years, other than 2020 and 2016. It's really not that far off from 2016. But the difference is between 2015 and 2021 in the second quarter, we've added 136,745 square feet. So we're heating, cooling, using that much more space, and yet we flatlined our energy needs.
That's great.
So it's actually really good. And not only that, that's not even taking into account for rising energy costs, any of the other expenses that we have going on between the end and now. And this doesn't include the new middle school or the additions, because in the second quarter of 2021, we did not have those operating. This is strictly just what we've added from 2015. We've added basically an entire middle school and then some, and yet we flatlined our energy use. So we're actually doing really well. That's pretty much the energy. Have any questions or?
Make us happy.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you. Thanks for the report. Great job. That concludes my superintendent's report.
Attorney's report, Mr. Keith.
Yes, ma'am. I have a contract issue to discuss with the board, as well as a property issue, both of which should be addressed in executive session.
Thank you. At this time, we need to approve the minutes of October the 7th, 2021, and October the 21st, 2021 board meetings. Do I have a motion? Make the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, our next on our list is consent agenda. We have items A to double D. What is your recommendation, sir?
Madam President, I recommend the board approve the consent agenda.
I need that in a motion. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Now we're going to get to the new business. Bids for partial HVAC replacements, Chickasaw Elementary School.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. We opened bids on the 19th of October. We're going to do a partial HVAC replacement in Chickasaw. My recommendation is accept the best and lowest bid from Metro Mechanical Contract.
Your recommendation, Mr. Olston.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the lowest and best bid from Metro Mechanical Contractors for the partial HVAC replacement at Chickasaw Elementary School.
I have the recommendation. I need a motion. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Contractual agreement, Metro Mechanical Contractors Incorporated, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. We're requesting from the board to enter into a contractual agreement with Metro Mechanical Contractors for the partial HVAC replacement project at Chickasaw Elementary.
All right, your recommendation, sir?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve entering into a contractual agreement with Metro Mechanical Contractors for the partial HVAC replacement at Chickasaw Elementary School.
I have the recommendation. I need a motion. I need a second. Second. All in favor? Aye. Bids for partial HVAC replacement, Center Hill Elementary, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. Bids were opened on October the 19th for partial HVAC replacement at Center Hill Elementary School. My recommendation, accept the lowest and best bid from American Refrigeration.
Your recommendation, sir?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the lowest and best bid from American Refrigeration for the partial HVAC replacement at Center Hill Elementary School.
We have the recommendation. I need a motion. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, we have a contractual agreement, American Refrigeration, Heating and Air Conditioning Company, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. This is item D. We're requesting to enter into a contractual agreement with American Refrigeration for the HVAC replacement project at Center Hill Elementary School.
Recommendation.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve entering into a contractual agreement with American Refrigeration, Heating and Air for the partial HVAC replacement at Center Hill Elementary School.
I have a recommendation. I need a motion. I need a second. Second. All in favor? Aye. E, bids partial HVAC replacement, Center Hill High School, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. We opened bids on October the 19th for the partial HVAC replacement project at Center Hill High School. My recommendation, accept the lowest and best bid from Accurate Air.
Your recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the lowest and best bid from Accurate Air for the partial HVAC replacement at Center Hill High School.
You've heard the recommendation. Now I need a motion. I need a second. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. F, contractual agreement, Accurate Air Company Incorporated, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. We're requesting permission from the board to enter into a contractual agreement with Accurate Air Company Incorporated for the partial HVAC replacement at Center Hill High School.
Your recommendation?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve entering into a contractual agreement with Accurate Air Company for the partial HVAC replacement at Center Hill High School.
I have a recommendation. I need that a motion. I need a second. Second. All in favor, aye. G, corrected bids for Cronus time clocks, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. Bids were opened on September the 24th for the purchase of Chronos time clock for the district. My recommendation, accept the best and lowest bid from Fulton and Charles Group.
Your recommendation, sir?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the lowest and best bid for Ultimate Chronos Groups for the Chronos time clocks.
H is request to reject bid. I'm sorry. Motion. I'll make that motion. Second. All in favor? I was patting myself on the back for doing so good and I messed up. Okay. H, request to reject bids for notebook computers FY 22, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. Bids were opened on October 22nd for the purchase of netbook computers for the district. Due to multiple participating vendors not meeting the required specifications, I recommend that we reject all the received bids.
Your recommendation, sir?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve rejecting the bids for the netbook computers.
I have a recommendation. I need that in a motion. I need a second. Second. All in favor, aye. Aye. Permission to advertise for bids for rebid for netbook computers FY 22, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. We are requesting permission from the board to rebid for the netbook computers for the FY 22 school year.
Thank you. I need a recommendation from you, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the advertising for rebids for debt book.
I have that in a recommendation. I need that in a motion.
Make that motion.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Aye. J, request to pay vendor purchasing rule issue, Lewisburg High School, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. In your package is a letter from the principal of Lewisburg High School requesting to pay fine to a trip that occurred on the 23rd. I will say that we had to keep the transfer out of there. So the next two items are linked to that transfer. I think we got it under control now. The new bookkeeper was not aware that a purchase order was needed. We addressed the mistake at the school and we're requesting to pay fine to the invoice they submitted.
Thank you. Your recommendation?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the request to pay the vendor for the personal rule issue at Lewisburg High School.
I have a recommendation. I need that in a motion. Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye. K is request to pay vendor purchasing rule issue, Lewisburg High School, Mr. Williams.
This man, you take a letter from the principal of the school requesting permission to pay Richard Culpepper for choir registration fees. There was a mix up with the dates and the time of the event. The issue's been addressed. The school is requesting to pay the fee using their student activity fund.
Your recommendation?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the request to pay the vendor for the personal rule issue at Lewisburg High School.
I have a recommendation. I need that in a motion.
Make that motion.
I need a second. All in favor, aye. Aye. Request, L, request to pay vendor purchasing rule issue, Pleasant Hill Elementary, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. Attached to the letter from the principal of the school requesting to pay the Pleasant Hill Arts Center for field trip. Teacher did not request a purchase order for field trip, and that has been addressed with the teacher. School is requesting to pay the invoice for their student activity fund.
Your recommendation, sir?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the request to pay the vendor for the personal rule issue at Pleasant Hill Elementary School.
I have that in a recommendation. I need a motion. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Aye. Request to pay vendor purchasing rule issue, plant maintenance, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. At DeSoto Central High School, school maintenance personnel approved for a vendor to do the elevator inspection without contacting the plant maintenance department here for the proper paperwork. The issue has been addressed. And the school is requesting permission to pay the elevator safety for the services.
Thank you. Your recommendation, sir?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the request to pay the vendor for the personal rule issue plant maintenance.
I have a recommendation. I need that in a motion. I need a second. All in favor, aye. N, request to purchase school buses, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. In your packet is application to purchase new buses to be approved by this school board and then subsequently by the Mississippi Department of Ed. We verified all the vendors are on state contract and the proper quotes have been obtained.
Your recommendation?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the request to pay to purchase school buses.
I have a recommendation. I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I need a second. All in favor? Aye. O, request to purchase vehicles, plant maintenance, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. The physical plan is requesting to purchase 6 vehicles on the state contract. Prior to requesting to approve the purchase of the vehicles as they will be added to our district fleet.
Mr. Austin, your recommendation, sir?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the request to purchase vehicles.
I have a recommendation. I need a motion. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor, aye. P is request to purchase vehicle transportation, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. The transportation department is requesting to purchase 1 Ford F-150 will be used by the fleet manager to assist with bus maintenance and repairs. The lowest quote was submitted by Landers Ford South.
Your recommendations?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the request to purchase the vehicle.
I have a recommendation. I need a motion.
I so moved.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Q is request to reimburse employee in South Haven Intermediate School, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. The principal at SIS accidentally used her personal debit card for a school purchase. She did have an approved purchase order. She just pulled out the wrong card at the checkout. The school has requested permission to reimburse.
Your recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the request to reimburse the employee at South Haven Intermediate School.
I have the recommendation. I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I need a second. All in favor, aye. Aye. Mr. Williams, you are through. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Graves, good afternoon. Statement of revenue and expenditures, September 2021, Ms. Graves.
Our general fund revenues received so far at the end of September at $53,623,163. Compared to last year, we're up 9%. We were at $49,159,060. And those are again due just mainly to MAP and increased ad valorem. Our all funds revenue received is at $56,779,679 compared to last year at $55,908,980. That's only up about 2%, but we were starting to receive the larger ESSER funds at this time last year, so we're about even from last year to this year on all funds. General fund expenditures were at $48,475,122, and I had to look the number twice because I thought it repeated the same thing. It's almost identical to last year at $48,641,611. And even though new school, more expenditures, we've been very fortunate to be able to move a lot of general fund expenditures to ESSER, so that, we're saving money in our fund balance, building that fund balance by having those expenditures. And so we've definitely taken advantage of the ESSER funds, which is wonderful.
You like that word, saving.
We love saving, yes, we do. All fund expenditures are at $60,884,919.
Your recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the statement of revenue and expenditures for September 2021.
I have a recommendation. I need a motion.
Moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye. S, the statement of cash flow, September 2021, Ms. Graves.
Our district management's cash balance at the end of September is at $115,668,589. Of that, our invested cash balance is at $28,612,792. All of our funds cash balance is $160,111,763.
Your recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the statement of cash flow for September 2021.
I have this in a recommendation. I need a motion, please.
I'll make that motion.
Need a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
T is combined balance sheet, September 2021, Ms. Graves.
The fund balance for all general funds through the end of September is at $121,172,369. We are 15% higher than last year. And all funds balance is $159,305,295. The 15% from last year is just a combination of more revenues, less expenditures out of general, most of it in ESSER. So we're just continuing to grow that fund balance for future uses and future needs when all the ESSER goes away. So we're great report.
Thank you. Your recommendation, sir?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the combined balance sheet for September 2021.
I have that in a recommendation. Do I have a motion? Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. U is certification of bank reconciliation, September 2021, Ms. Graves.
All bank statements have been reconciled with no exceptions.
That's great. Your recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the certification of bank reconciliations for September 2021.
I have that in a recommendation. I need that in a motion. Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Ms. Graves. Wonderful report. Ms. Hasselman, it's your turn now.
Yes, ma'am.
I have received board policy EJ, employee email and electronic communication usage. Ms. Hasselman.
Yes, ma'am, we're asking to revise this policy to update the names of the social media platforms listed in letter E of the policy, and to include that decisions concerning described posts in the policy will be at the discretion of the superintendent or his or her designee.
Your recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the revised board policy EJ for employee email electronic communication use.
I have a recommendation. I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. Personnel, Mr. Alexander.
Yes, ma'am. The personnel packet today is pages 1 through 3 are recommendations. Pages 4 and 5 are personnel changes. Page 6 is a memo for myself for employees who have not been awarded this indicator license and pay. Page 7 is a memo for myself requesting the board approve occupational therapists and nurses to receive an additional 8 hours of personnel discretionary leave, to be a total of 16. We did 8 last board meeting. However, teachers were given 8 additional. We will keep it consistent. So it's actually going to be 16, especially for this school year for our occupational therapists and nurses, PDL. Page 8 is a memo from the Scott Secretary of Special Education on approval for 3 additional PCA allocations and 3 teacher assistants for the 21-22 school year based on students' needs. These were additions were budgeted for this school year. Page 9 is a memo from Ms. Hallmark, Director of Child Nutrition, requesting to pay an employee for the week she was utilized as a child nutrition assistant manager for Lake Intermediate School prior to her board approval date. She was working already. However, she went ahead and took some of those responsibilities. So the difference amounts to, I think, $40.07. We need to retro pay her. Page 10 is a request for additional pay from Ms. Ingram, our Director of Federal Programs, on 2 teachers who will work as after-school tutors for special education students needing extra academic support for Lake Middle School. $27 per hour beginning November 5th and ending June 30th, 22. Page 11 is the Chief Operations Officer flow chart. Page 12 is the Technology Department flow chart. Page 13 is the Residency Department flow chart. Page 14 is the Accreditation and MIS flow chart. Page 15 is Security and Risk Management flow chart. Page 16 is the Child Nutrition flow chart. Page 17 is Transportation flow chart. Page 18 is Physical Plant Maintenance flow chart. Page 19 is Academic Support and School Improvement flow chart. Page 20 is Health Services flow chart. Page 21 is Accreditation and Advanced Academics flow chart. Page 22 is Gifted Education flow chart. Page 23 is Professional Development and Student Support flow chart. And page 24 is Student Intervention and Program flow chart. Pages 25 through 27 is the dual credit clerk job descriptions. And then pages 28 through 30 is Director of Gifted Services job descriptions. The first one on 25, 27, that change is simply, it's now changed from the Department of Mental Health. And then pages 28, 30, the only changes, it was a change from Gifted Education, it was changed from title of Gifted Education to Gifted Services.
Thank you. Your recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve personnel as presented.
I have a recommendation. I need that in a motion. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you, Mr. Alexander. Student discipline, Mr. Finley.
Madam Chair, we have student discipline matters to address in executive session.
All right, thank you, sir. At this time, we're going to remind everyone, this is for public comment. You can have public comment at this time. Is there anyone here that would like to make a presentation to the board? All right. This is not a debate setting. So this is not a question and answer session. All you have to do is just address the board, which we love for you our citizens to be allowed to address the board. You'll have 5 minutes to address the board, ma'am. Ma'am, your name, ma'am?
Mary Herring.
Harry is your last name?
Herring, H-E-R-R-I-N-G.
All right, thank you. All right, you have 5 minutes.
Okay, I really just basically have 3 questions that I know I can't get answers to, but would like to put them out there. One of my questions was over the SEL, which the first lady talked about in the schools, the emotional learning, social learning. I would like to know how in depth we go with that, because I know there are some things in there controversial. And I would like to know how the children are being taught. The second thing is I've been kind of looking at the brain talk thing that the kids use, and I'd like to know how that is used, how often the teachers use that instead of actually teaching the class. And I'd like for some of to know if there's debate on some of the things that are out there. The kids are actually able to get both sides of the story and not just one side. And then my only last request is there any way to change the meetings so it's more easily attainable for parents and teachers if teachers want to come to school? Because in the middle of the day, it's hard for a lot of parents. They're at work or they have something that has to go on during the day. And I know it seems like a long time ago we did have them later in the evening around 5 or 6, something like that. But those are the only things I had. I knew I couldn't get answers today, but I wanted to put the questions.
I can't address the last part of the board member, but on the first 3, I've got 2 academic team members that are here today. So as soon as the meeting's over, Mr. Spencer, will you raise your hand? There's Mr. Spencer, and then the Strickland who's back in the back. They'll both see you afterwards, and they can take care of those first 3. And then as far as the last ones, we'll take that under advisement. You are correct that board meetings did used to begin at 5, and once we began live streaming, that's when they moved to 3. And the board meetings are also archived in case anybody wants to go back and watch them. But I know our board members will take that under advisement. So,
And I don't think a lot of people know that they are out there archived. I think the public needs to know that.
yeah, right.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Henry.
Mayor. We appreciate you coming and telling us, advising us of different things. Thank you.
And Ms. Henry, I'll follow up with Mr. Spencer and Ms. Strickland tomorrow, also on the questions that you asked.
At this time, I need a motion for consideration of closed session to determine whether the board should enter executive session for the following matters. Student discipline and 2 matters from our lawyer, Mr. Kitty, contract issue and property issue.
I make that motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Our recess meeting is scheduled for November 18th at 10 a.m. And someone will come back and inform you whether we need to stay in executive session. Thank you.